We're looking at homework from section 2.4. This is question number 14. The mean value of land and buildings per acre from a sample of farms is $1,700, with a standard deviation of $200. The dataset has a bell-shaped distribution. Assume the number of farms in the sample is 73. A. Use the empirical rule to estimate the number of farms whose land and buildings values per acre are between 1,300 and 2,100. B. If 28 additional farms were sampled, about how many of these additional farms would you expect to have land and building values between $1,300 per acre and $2,100 per acre? So we'll start with part A, and we'll apply the empirical rule. The empirical rule is a distribution of values along a bell curve. 68% of values are found within one standard deviation, 95% within two standard deviations, and 99.7% within three standard deviations. So we're going to put the values from our problem on this bell curve. The mean goes right in the middle, so we put our 1,700 right in the middle. And then we're going to move one standard deviation in each direction. Since the standard deviation is $200, we'll add and subtract $200 from the 1,700 and get 1,500 and 1,900. We add and subtract 200 again and get 1,300 and 2,100. Add and subtract 200 again, we get 1,100 and 2,300. So this asked us how many farms would we expect to find between 1,300 and 2,100. So let's calculate that percent. Those values of the percents between 1,300 and 2,100 are 13.5, 34, 34, and 13.5. When you add those together, you get 95%. So 95% of the farms should be between 1,300 and 2,100. But it didn't ask for a percent value. It asked for the actual number of farms. So to calculate the actual number of farms, we have to figure out what 95% of 73 is. So mathematically, we multiply 0.95 times 73, which gets us 69.35, and we're going to round to the nearest whole number, which would be 69. So the answer to part A is 69 farms. In part B, we still have the same 95% because we're still asking a question about 1,300 to 2,100. But now we're adding 28 more farms. So we would expect 95% of these 28 farms to have a value between 1,300 and 2,100. So we need to figure out 95% of 28, which is 0.95 times 28, which is 26.6, rounded to the nearest whole number, would be 27 farms. That's the answer to part B, and that's your answer.